All right, this is Luke Blain here with Mason County Commissioner Rick Handley. So we know that today is the 50th anniversary of the Silver Bridge collapsing. Take us through what you were doing that day and kind of take us through what was going through your mind as it happened and what you were doing.
Well, Luke, I was a sophomore at Point Pleasant High School when that evening we had a basketball game, and we had heard that a bridge had fallen. And those of us who were from this area thought it was the Shadle Bridge, because the Shadle Bridge was a lot older than the Silver Bridge. And we heard the bridge had fallen. A lot of questions, who's on the bridge? Did anybody die on the bridge? We played that evening. My coach was Jimmy Joe Wedge, and his parents were supposed to be at the ball game that evening. And we had heard that he'd heard they'd gone to Galplus and was coming back and thought maybe they got in the traffic because the bridge had fallen. They had to go up to the Mason Pomeroy Bridge, cross it, and come down here. But unfortunately, they were on the bridge, and it's just cast a very, very dark shadow on the basketball team, let alone Coach Wedge and his family. So a very, very dark day, not only with the Wedge family, but the other members of the families had lost loved ones also.
How did it affect you personally after that?
Personally, as a 15-year-old, very tough situation. You're young, you think you're invincible, and you look down through the list of people who died, and you had a 1-year-old, you had a 3-year-old, you had a 10, 13-year-old. You had 4 people under the age of 14 who died on the bridge, let alone the older people. But just a really, really tough situation, having to deal with that, seeing funeral after funeral. I went down the next day and stood on the banks of the Ohio River, looking out where the bridge used to be, and it wasn't there any longer. It's just hard to comprehend something that magnificent as a human-made bridge there one day, the next day it's not there. And just watching by that time it was a search, not a rescue, but a search mission go on. So that was very sad for the people who was involved.
How have you seen its impact on the community ever since then today, too?
Well, just like we've heard in the memorial here today, West Virginians are resilient. We came together, we grieved with one another and the families. From our standpoint, the basketball team grieved for Coach Wedge and what he was going through with his family. So we are a community that comes together during tough times. It's happened at that time, and it's happened ever since, from one different thing to another. So proud to be a Mason Countyan, proud to be a West Virginian, knowing that we do hang together during tough times.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Luke.